Hey guys, welcome to my first new Let's Play that's not BioShock or Uncharted in a while. I still have number 3 for both of those coming up, but I thought I'd take a break, do an indie horror game, last 3 or 4 hours, play it through, kind of see how I like it. I like to promote indie games, and I like to promote games that are for the Mac. So, we're going to play Anna Extended Edition. I did end up getting about 10 or 15 minutes into the game before it crashed. I didn't realize it didn't save it automatically, so I'll have to be constantly saving because it didn't save it. So at least I know how to get around on the outside. I've not been on the inside at all. So let's start this new game, guys. Let's start it up. Let's see what's going on. I still recall the ecstasy of the sun piercing through the trees. While our hours passed along with the chanting of the wind blowing across the mountains. I hoped that I'd forgotten you forever and ever. Anna, my love. Kind of creepy looking picture though, guys. Kind of a creepy looking picture. Okay. So, this is the house that keeps appearing in my nightmares. No doubt about it. I could count every single crevice. How did I end up here anyways? I feel as if I walked here in a trance. But now I'm past the gates. I must figure out why I keep dreaming about her. I'm in dire need of answers. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I kind of figured out the system, though. So this lock should be good for you, I guess. First, let's read you some of the journal background. That'll give you an idea of the story behind it. I think it's probably an important thing to have, even though it's a touch creepy, and it makes me kind of cringe at what the ending's going to be like, but I don't think it's as bad as it sounds, I hope. So to go to the journal, just go down, not notebook. Yeah, I guess it is notebook. So I'll just read this to you guys, and it'll take a few minutes. How did I end up here? This is the sawmill I keep seeing in my dreams, but I don't understand. Am I awake or still asleep? In my dreams, I'm always outside the fence, but not this time. I want to find out what's hidden here. I somehow feel that in that house, I will find the answers to all my questions. And maybe her, too. I can't sleep. I've got a splitting headache. I'm writing just so I can survive through the discomfort. Anesthetics have been useless so far. The few moments of relief are always followed by sharp stabs of agony. While in bed, I roll my head trying to find a position that might stop or mitigate the pain, yet it's all been hopeless. When will I close my eyes? It sounds like I hear the noise of foliage caressed by the wind, as if they were composing a symphony using my sore bones. It looks like I can see images from that scene, the sky and the mountains. Oddly enough, my vision is blurred. But despite the fact that I don't recognize the place, I have the feeling I've already been there. This migraine must be playing tricks on me. I despise the mountains, and I would never wish to go there. The few times I've gone to the mountains, I didn't stay more than a single day, never ventured into the woods, nor gone on the hiking trails. I must rest my head upon a pillow. I'm feeling faint from the pain. Today's lesson shocked them, when I told them how it was common for a knight in the Middle Ages to rape poor country women they would happen to meet walking along the streets. Some of them stared at me. The girls in particular seemed aghast and disturbed, as if I were telling them a fictitious story. Nevertheless, there is many an old song, usually not to be found in anthology school books, extolling this practice and even glorifying rape as a privilege of knighthood towards women of subordinate classes. In some nation, knights would romantically kneel before damsels and unleash themselves upon young shepherdesses. 'Twas worse still when I told them that in some alpine communities rape was even a means to marriage. Beyond any formality, the raped woman was bound to become the bride of her abuser. Life wasn't easy back then, and there wasn't much time for courtship. Such behavior may seem revolting nowadays, viewing it from a modern perspective, yet what even more terrifying is how human beings have forgotten the memory of those perpetrated horrors, and how they tend to willingly ignore them when put before their very eyes. Really uncomfortable with this subject. I think I'll still try it, maybe they're just a little heavy-handed in the beginning, but part of me really hopes I don't regret this. Struggling with feelings of disgust caused by the topics said lesson I taught yesterday, some students have even given me the title of Professor Pervert. If that bloody headache hadn't returned, I'd have even laughed at such a stupid and unimaginative nickname. Today, something peculiar happened. While I was searching for some stuff, just some souvenirs I guess, amid a mess of old cardboard boxes in the cellar, I noticed an unfamiliar box half buried among the others. I often go down to the basement, but I had never noticed this one before. I didn't even recognize it, therefore I immediately decided to find out what was inside. Reaching it wasn't an easy task. I had to move a couple of big boxes full of ethnic junk to clear my way through. Why do I keep all this garbage? Still uncomfortable with the subject matter, but eventually I managed to take it out of that heap. I found some photos inside. They had been placed in a makeshift envelope made out of sheets of manila paper tied with twine. A note rested on the package, which had turned completely yellow, and on the note was written, Dias Valley. Those photos can't be mine. I've never been to that place. In truth, I've never been to Aosta Valley region at all. I don't know why, but discovering those photos filled me with unease. I brought them home, but I haven't found the courage to look at them yet. I woke up several times tonight, each time I walked past the envelope containing the photos, convinced that I would open it. I always refrain from doing so. The headaches have returned stronger than ever, and those visions of trees. In the moments of most intense pain, I believe I even heard a voice, or was it perhaps whistling? I can't sleep anymore. Why haven't I found the courage to look at those photos? Today I gave a terrible lecture. For a while I was in a gloomy mood, and my students took notice of it. I often jabbered gibberish rather than teaching. I became aware of it, but I wasn't able to get a firm grip on myself. My thoughts were jumbled in my mouth. I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about those photographs. During every single instant of the day, they say that I suddenly began to fix my gaze upon one of the co-ed ladies. Ooh, even more uncomfortable, guys. Marco, my assistant, told me that I stood frozen like that for an entire minute in complete silence. Then he said that I had an absent stare. What does that mean? Luckily, I pulled myself together and continued talking, as if nothing had happened. I can't remember anything. It was like a kind of blackout in my coherent stream of consciousness. The Mother Goddess. I gave a lecture on this particular topic today when I introduced the concept of Vesica Pisces. They all burst into laughter. One immediately pointed out that it looked like a vagina. I complimented his observation, explained that he wasn't wrong, and in fact it symbolized maternity in general, and that each one of us originates from that. I also explained that in the Middle Ages, Vesica Pisces also called Pandora and Dorla, and was used to pray and holy to God. Again, they burst out laughing. They still don't fully realize that attempts to removing sexuality from culture is quite a recent scourge. Then I told them about the trapezoid, the 3 interlocked spirals, and the 3 crescent moons, and other symbols. Wow, biohazard symbol. They seemed particularly interested. At the end of class, I handed out photocopies of the hymn to Isis, and I spoke about the role of women in ancient civilizations. Often considerably different symbols encompass similar concepts. If it weren't for the headache, it would have been a perfect lesson. The hymn to Isis. Because I am the first and the last, I am the venerated and the despised one. I am the prostitute and the saint. I am the bride and the virgin. I am the mother and the daughter. I am my mother's arms. I am the sterile one, yet my children are numerous. I am the married woman and the unmarried one. I am she who gives birth and she who has never given birth. I am the consolation for the pains of childbirth. I am the bride and the groom, and it was my man who nurtured my fertility. I am my father's mother, I am my husband's sister, and he is my rejected son. Respect me always, as I am the scandalous and the magnificent one. I wonder if that's a real hymn. The photos, goddammit, I can't look at them. I simply collapsed. I couldn't even enter the classroom. I found myself lying on the ground, my head between my hands, with a swarm of students surrounding me and asking whether I was feeling well. The voices became noise and did nothing. I woke up at the hospital, and according to the medical staff, it wasn't a heart attack, nor a stroke, nor a nervous breakdown. It was as if I had switched myself off, but without going into a coma. I've been admitted for 3 days, but all the tests have led nowhere. Ultimately, the doctors merely recommended I rest a bit, prescribed me a more substantial diet than the one I had been following. The provost agreed with that, and granted me 5 weeks off instead of the 2 recommended by my physician. Just in time for the closure of the academic year, my assistants will handle the examinations. The trees, an old crone who talks with wolves, then the woods, the wind, 2 peaks, a creek, and a building that looks like it was wedged in an emotionless world as ancient as Earth itself. The sun wraps around everything, the clouds are walking across the valley, and the silence of time slips by in the immensity which I abandon myself. Everything fades away as the morning approaches. I'm dominated by an inkling of vagueness. I feel my body is growing heavy like a boulder. I didn't get any benefit from 3 days of absolute rest. and the photos are still wrapped up on the table. Marco visited me today. He reported on things are going back at the university. Sitting at a small table, I made a pretense of observing him and paying attention to what he was saying. I asked him if he wanted some coffee, and he nodded and told me he would help himself. You could rest, he said. You should rest, he said, raising a smile and smirking. I told you numerous times not to address me in such a polite way, I replied, letting him do so. A few minutes later, he returned from the kitchen, carrying a little tray with 2 coffee cups. He's so clumsy. He stumbled, spilling the streaming hot coffee on the package with the photos inside. Everything happened as quick as a flash. Regaining his balance and realizing what he had just done, he opened the envelope to remove the stained pages. Allowing the liquid to pass through it, without uttering a word, he handed me the photographs while he cleaned. As soon as I held them in my hands, I felt shivers run through my whole body, and that uneasy feeling that hasn't abandoned me during the past weeks turned into horror. The first image showed 2 mountains. With a choked voice, I whispered, Castor and Pollux. Amazed that I recognized them, I began to browse through the photos. After cleaning the mess, Marco came closer to gaze at those old photos with me. Why are some of them been torn, he asked. No clue, I replied, in a huff. For no reason. I can't even recall having been in those places. Unfortunately, there was no doubt. Some of the torn photographs also featured me. There were shots of several locations. Parisic, Champolux, Pilaz. When I was there, who was with me? Why were those photos ripped apart? Filled with questions, I no longer heeded Marco. So after a couple of minutes, he fabricated some excuse I didn't even hear so that he could take leave. I flipped through the photos more and more fervently, as if they were a dream sequence which I was seeking to make sense. Only after many hours did I stand up from the chair to lay the photos on the table, and only then did I notice that one of the photographs had fallen to the ground underneath it. It must have fallen when Marco removed them from the envelope to save them from the coffee. I picked it up and looked at it for a few seconds, and then fell upon the floor limp as a corpse. The old sawmill. I'd seen the photo appeared to me in my dreams. I reached it, but I couldn't go nearer. I wasn't able to enter the surrounding fence, as if it were an invisible barrier. When I saw her, I was caught in a trance. Now as then, she was on the doorstep, and her immense beauty illuminated the honoric walls in which I was imprisoned. She seemed sad, and didn't talk to me. When I came around again, soaked in the morning sun, my doubts were gone. I must go to the Ouse Valley, or better, I should say, return to. I'll bring a few things with me, and this notebook where I hope I'll be able to write how this crazy story ends. Anna, how could I forget you? Okay. Way creepy, guys. Way creepy. Let me save it before we go any farther. Okay. So, a little creepy, a little rape-tastic. I'm a little worried. The good thing is I know what I'm doing in this section, so this took me a wholly longer time than I ever thought it should. A pile of rocks. Assorted rocks are scattered across the grounds. The controls are a little awkward, so I apologize. Oh, a brook. The water is pristine and inviting. Gazing at the crystal clear surface almost makes you thirsty. Almost. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill my canteen up. Because you know what? You never know when you're going to need a canteen. The flask is full. Alright, so let's go over here. There's another pile of rocks. There's some flowers around this pile of rocks. Someone must have stacked them like this on purpose. Okay, so there's a flat pebble, and so what you got to do with this is it's like amnesia. You got to kind of drag stuff off and throw it off like that. That took me forever to find. So, dirty object. I picked up a dirty object. Oh, I think I can pick up flowers too. Oh, maple leaves. I'll pick up a maple leaf too. So, what took me forever and I had never even considered was I need to wash off this dirty object. This seriously took me so long that it was sad. So maybe it was better that you guys didn't have to watch it. I cleaned it with water. So when you go back to it, it's some piece of gear. How could it have wound up under those rocks? Well, somebody put them there, obviously. Alright, so there's nothing else around here except for forestry areas and a stick. Let's pick up the stick. Got a wooden branch. We go on back here. There's also a pebble. And if I know directly how to do this, once again, it's because I got stuck here for quite a while before it crashed on me. Alright, so we're going to come back to this little under thing here. There's nothing else really out around here except more pebbles. But we do have a little glass thing up here. Oh, see, because it won't let me in. It won't budge. Thank you. Eye-shaped notch. A magnificent carving, despite its simplicity. The etching was masterfully crafted. There's something inside. All right, so let me out. Thank you. Let's go to the inventory. We'll pull ourselves out of rock. And we will break the eye-shaped notch, because we are awesome, guys. And inside is a gear piece. Well, we can't reach it, so then we go back to the inventory. We take the stick we found and get the gear piece. So that's one. Oh, so if you go over here. Oh, and just to show you, the two other doors are one way going out the other way. Maybe it's possible to open from the inside. So we're going to go down here, crouch. It's a little string. It's tying up the doors. It shouldn't be that hard to cut it. So that's the cool thing about having a pocket knife, guys. Or a hunting knife, not a pocket knife. Done. I cut the rope. I'll bring it with me. So this took me forever to figure out as well. It's just like Amnesia. We got to yank it open. That was kind of annoying. And then you see a cracked wall. No way, I can't make it with my bare hands. I wonder what language this was originally written in, because obviously the translation's a little off on some things. So, this also took me forever. You have to use a branch to break, though. I just never would have considered a branch myself. Okay, so, dark corner. I can't see anything. I need to find a light. And then we look at the dry branch, a dry wooden branch. This looks pretty sturdy. Once again, this time you take out your lighter, your handy little lighter, and you light it. What now? Oh, so now we go to the inventory. Let's see, if you go to the mechanism, this is a rather strange mechanism. It seems to be missing some parts. And that's what I have right now. I have all the parts with me. So, to get the parts to work, you pick up a gear piece, put it on top of another gear piece, I think. Something like that. Maybe that's the wrong piece. Maybe I gotta pick up this piece, put it on that piece. There we go. They fit perfectly together. But with the other part that got me confused, but I need something to hook them up. So then what I got confused again was the string needs to wrap around the broken gear. The gear has been fixed. Okay, I really wouldn't trust a gear that's wrapped with string. Not thinking it would hold well, but hey, you know. So we'll go to the mechanism. It's rather strange. Okay, missing some parts. So now we go back to the inventory. We pull out that piece of gear. I put it in the mechanism. There we go. Now, oh, I jumped ahead of myself. The one thing I should have shown you is you can press this boulder and it'll push in, but it wouldn't let me do anything. It kept saying broken boulder, but now, dum-dum, this is as far as I got, guys. So I'm not sure what's on past this, but this is where I've got so far. I checked my journal because I don't want to have to read 5 million pages the next time, so I just double check. Just double check, and they also added to the front, which I mean makes it easier to when you're in there. So the new thing is weird rock mounds and mechanisms on the wall. Now I'm sure this house has its secrets to conceal. It's no longer just a simple inkling. Okay. All right, guys. Let us go in here. Let's see how this is going to go. All the candles and lamp have been lit. Oh, somebody's already here? Does someone still live here? Oh, is that a no? Let's check it out. Check it out. It's an old handkerchief. In very bad shape. I fear it might crumble in my hands. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a pixel hunting game, is it? Let's start on the left. Part of my yawn. All of a sudden I'm yawning. And we're going to just work our way around the left. I wish Cannibal was here. She is really good at these kind of... Ooh, I saw something. Well, a broken table. Oh. The small table is in an atrocious state. It kind of looks like an atrocious state. Luckily, I don't need to stop for a meal. Why would they need a table for a meal anyways? Can't do the candle. Okay, so this is the slow and... oh, did I see something? Ooh, sharp fragment. It looks like the blade of a knife. Oh, please don't make this have to be a sacrificial knife. It's solidly stuck in the table. If I want to take it, I'll have to hit it with something. Oh, you know what? That's my handy dandy stick. Thank you. The branch snapped. Okay, someone is saying they weep every night they weep. This is gonna go poorly, I can already tell. Let's get the knife blade. Okay. And I don't think the knife blade will fit on it. Nope, I don't think there's anything here at all. Okay, so before we go into any other rooms, let's check out this complete room. Ready to check out the outside of the room all the way through. Oh, can I do something with that? No. Oh, crap. Okay, so it's a book. Let's read the book, guys. Let's see what this book is about. Do I go to, is it my notebook? Oh, there's more stuff. I can hear a woman weeping behind that door. I must find a way to open it. There's a painting depicting 5 eyes. Maybe they have some meaning. 5 eyes. Okay, so let's get out of there. But I saw that book. Let's read that book. Oh, maybe it's in documents. Oh, it is in documents. Lucien and Margarita. Ooh, a little bit of talking. Okay, I can read it. We'll read it off. In times gone by, the youths ventured into the woods to vow their eternal love. Thus on that day, Lucien the shepherd took Margarita by the hand and led her amidst the trees. Margarita was sweet like the spring, with hair like gold threads, and her hands were as quick in cotton spinning as a nightingale was flying. For all of this, the shepherd desired her hand in marriage. Because, you know, women are only valuable if they look good and they're really good at doing cotton stuff. Sorry, that was an offhand comment. It was a beautiful October day, and the snow seemed to be yet distant, but after a long walk and while they were amidst the thick of the woods, the sun was covered by the clouds, and Margarita said, "Please, my love, let us return home. A cloud has covered the sun, and if 1,000 drops were to fall from the sky, sick we could become, you and I." Oh, really? We're going to do it in rhyme? But the shepherd replied, "One more step, my dove. I have heard the sound of an axe, and I do not want the woodcutter's ears to eavesdrop our vows." Why is her sing-songing and his not? That's kind of a weird thing. Margarita followed him, and on they walked for 100 steps more. The sky darkened, and the maiden trembled. She pleaded, "Please, my love, let us return home. The cloud is darker, and if 100 flakes should fall, the path will vanish, and they won't ever find us at all." But the shepherd had seen the hunter several trees away, and he did not want the hunter's eyes to spy on their kisses. He replied, "Courage, my dove, one more step." 100 steps later, a very white light flared in the far distance, and Lucien clenched his beloved's hand more tightly, because he desperately wanted to reach it. Snow had begun to fall, and the young maiden desired to go back. She dragged her feet and pleaded, but Lucien gripped her hand tighter and dragged her. Margarita wept, "Please, if you love me, stop and let us try to find a way home." But the young man no longer heeded her. Margarita tried to stop him whilst the light before them continued to grow. He let go of her hand and proceeded alone. Margarita fell upon the ground while he disappeared into the storm. Thus she gathered all her courage, took her skirt in her hand, and rushed to stop him, because she truly loved him and did not want any harm to befall him. But Lucien, feeling his hands being pulled back, turned around, with a face which no longer seemed to be his own, and screamed, "Begone, you jealous harpy, why do you linger still? She is calling me with a voice that nary 1,000 nightingales can match, and here you are cawing like a choked crow. Begone," and saying this, he turned away from her. But Margarita did not relent and grabbed him by his pants. So the young man turned with a stone in his hand and hit her hard on her face, and disappeared, leaving her upon the ground. When Margarita opened her eyes again, the snow had ceased falling, the night was sound, the light was still there. Enveloped by terror, the young girl ran away as far as she could. When she was found the following morning, her golden hair had turned to white, and her face, once sweet and beautiful, was now disfigured by a long scar. Nothing was again heard of Lucien, and no one ever ventured into the woods again. Wow, there is a lot of misogynistic stuff going on in this game. I am not comfortable, but we'll continue. The Sabbath Maker's Way. Curious. So I'm curious, because I know there's multiple endings. Nope, nothing I could have. I'm looking, sweetie. I'm going to have to figure out 5 eyes, huh? Is there something? Can I touch this up here? No? Crap. I'm sorry, I'm working on it. Oh, there's a door. Okay, we'll check the doors out when I get around. I just want to check everything in one room. Lit stove. An old wooden stove that's been lit. Is it possible someone has passed through it? Yes, there's someone crying in the other room.
What do you expect to find?
I don't know what to expect to find. I'm just looking. Okay, so all the way around. Whoa, an old saw. Why are we doing the light thing? An old saw. Unfortunately, it's broke. Guys, this really, like, makes me pukey watching it. Are you guys telling me to hurry? Is that what it is? Is that your, like, hurry up, guys? Whoa, did I just see something? I swear, I just saw... Whoa. Didn't I just see something? I swear... Oh, an old saw. That's what I saw. Okay. Okay, now I'm getting pukey, and I don't appreciate it. Okay, I'm a little freaked out now. Now it's creepy. Okay, broken door first, and then through that door, and then through the locked door? Okay, let's try that. Because the broken door is freaking me out now. And my computer is hating this right now. Thank you. Soft roots? Some roots? Okay. Some roots. They seem soft and easy to cut. Oh, did I get past whatever I needed to go? Can I cut them? Let's see if I can cut them. Let's try my knife, guys. This puny knife is not going to be enough to cut those, to butt those branches. Okay, really, I need something up to the job. Really, guys. Next time, work on someone who can translate that for you, or who's better at English. Could be, maybe not. Soft roots. Nope, evidently you can't do it with the blade. So that's okay. That's okay. What do we got going on here? Let's wheel this puppy up. Oh, so the train goes up and down. Okay. No idea what that does. Can I see into it? No. Candles. This is going to be... Ooh, puddle. Hey guys, this is me after the fact, and I just want to state that the computer has crashed at this point. They have a lot of Mac issues with this, so I'll just end the Let's Play here. We'll start it up next time. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.